I think a big misconception about animal shelters, and I'll say for our organization as well, is that there's this dread that an animal has to come to an animal shelter. You know, that it's the worst case scenario for an animal to come to a shelter. And for a happy pet who's well adjusted in their home, yeah, it's not good to have to be rehomed, not to be able to stay successful with their family. But for so many animals in our community, bliss happens when they come in this door.
I think the best part of the job is to have the ability to make a difference in the lives of people, in the lives of animals, to go out and rectify a situation when the animal's been abused, to take possession of the animal, to bring the animal back into the Humane Society, to provide it with the medical treatment, to have the staff and volunteers wrap themselves around the animals. And the best experience is to have that animal finally be placed into a loving home, and just to have that basic ability to be the difference.
Personally, my favorite of all-time dog here was Izzy, the little pit bull who came in from the Cruelty Investigations Department, and she got adopted by the Humane agent's brother and sister-in-law who brought her in, and I still see pictures of her, and that to me is a really happy story. It's great to see her, pictures of her and her new family, you know, laying on a couch or, you know, laying in bed or under the Christmas tree, because that's what every animal deserves.
We had a Good Samaritan bring in a cat the other day, last Tuesday, and wanted to know if it had a microchip. So we took the cat and scanned it for a microchip, and it did produce a number. So we called Home Again, the chip company, one of the chip companies, and I've never had it happen before, but the company said this cat, or these people have been looking for this cat since 2008. It is now 2010, so the cat had been gone for 2 years. The cat had, when I called the owner, she had pretty much wrapped her mind around the fact that she thought the cat was gone for good, and here it was 2 years later. The cat was returned to her safe and sound.
This is Buddy Holly. He was brought to Capital Area Humane Society by a person who rescues small dogs, and it was known by the previous breeder that he did have a significant heart murmur. Buddy was very lucky in that this heart problem did not cause congestive heart failure. That is a common thing that can happen when you have this particular heart problem. So he had his surgery yesterday, and it went very well. They were able to successfully ligate that hole in his heart, and they instantly said that the blood pressure regulated as soon as they tied that hole off, and the murmur went away. He's very tired because of his big 24 hours that he's had. We'll keep him cage rested to make sure he heals correctly for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll keep him on some pain medicine just to make sure he's comfortable. And then we'll be able to get him a home. Yeah. Yay. Thank you.
There are moments that you remember. One being, I remember last March, we had a big snowstorm, and it was quiet. There wasn't a lot of people here because the roads were really bad, so I had an opportunity to get all the dogs out. And as I was leaving, I was walking down the shelter hallway, and you probably remember the commercial about American Express where they go to a baseball game and at the end they say it's priceless. Well, walking down the hall, it was quiet, and I thought to myself, okay, all the dogs are walked, they're in their kennels, the kennels are clean, their bellies are full, and they're resting peacefully. To me, that's priceless.
What I find most rewarding about this job would just have to be the outcomes. I always say that I kind of have the happy job here of, you know, after the animals come in and have a stay here, I'm the one who gets to send them home and I get to see them go to their new families. I always really like to when there's like a family with young kids getting, you know, a kitten or a puppy, you know, and you think that they're going to have this, you know, throughout their entire childhood. And I know my childhood pets meant a whole lot to me, so I know that those pets are going to mean a lot to those children as well, you know. And I like to take pictures of the animals as they go home with their new families, and I like to write the date on there so they can always think back, this is the first day, you know, I got my new friend and all that. So that's the most rewarding, is seeing them go to their new homes.
So all the students that are in their 4th year of clinics are required to come through this rotation. So at this point in time, that's 140 students, and they come out every 2 weeks. There's a new group, and they come out in groups of 6 or 7. And we have half of the students in surgery with me and Dr. Millward and Dr. Burkhold, and half the students also go into the medicine part of the rotation. If I were to wish a reward for the student, it would be, you know, can I walk away from this rotation and go into my career and find ways to be an advocate for the homeless pet population. And there's so many ways to do that. You can do that out of your practice. You can do this out of your home. You can, you know, it may be as simple as giving money. Is how do we use the available resource that we have to the maximum benefit of as many animals as possible.
What's rewarding for me is seeing an animal that might have come from a tough situation go to a new home. I like seeing the people side of it. You know, obviously we love animals here, but I love knowing that I talked to the person that brought that animal in and maybe couldn't care for them because of foreclosure, or they've lost their home and just really care about the animal but can't provide it the care that it needs. And seeing it go to a good family that can provide it that care is very rewarding. And if it's lived in an office that's, you know, here at the shelter, then that's more the better, because we know more about that animal to be able to pass along the information to the new adopters.
I do this work for a number of different reasons. Probably on a personal note is I'm an adult survivor of domestic violence as a child. My mother was actually killed by my father when I was 14. And so I have an intimate connection to domestic violence, and I understand the craziness of it. It doesn't seem crazy when you're in it, but it is crazy. And I also happen to be a huge animal lover. Safe Haven is a very unique program in that it serves people as well as animals. We are a program that is developed to help people who are trying to leave a domestic violence situation, and they will not leave their pets. We know nationally at least nearly 50% of women will not leave because they will not leave their pets behind. So our program steps in and offers temporary emergency housing for the pets so that the families can leave and do what they need to do to rebuild their future. Well, I think I'll have to talk about Jack and Carmen to explain why this program is so fantastic. I mentioned it earlier. In December of last year, there was the father killed his 2 daughters and killed himself. And the animal control officer called me and said, "You've got to take these dogs." I said, "Okay, we'll take them." And meeting the mom, meeting her, going to the funeral, being there for her, and then after all that time, seeing her reunited with those dogs, it just doesn't get any better than that. And a lot of dogs will punish you. They'll sort of give you the, okay, you've been gone for a while. But these dogs made a beeline for her, and it was just incredible. There's nothing better than that. There really isn't.
I think about the animals that are here in our organization because of the Safe Haven program, where we're sheltering the pets of victims of domestic violence. I think of the folks that we have on our cruelty investigations team, those agents that are in the field every day, really meeting up with some significant challenges. I think about our staff in admissions and how they absorb the pain of the folks who need our help. I think about our animal care staff making the very best decisions possible about the animals that we can help. I think about all of those people, and that's what gets me choked up. We have the best team here. Every day, every single day that I've been in animal welfare, someone says to me, I could never do your job. Everyone here gets the same thing. Oh, I could never do your job. Well, we can. And we do this work because we are so compelled to make today the very best that it can be for all of the animals in our care.